Hello everyone, it has certainly been a year, hasn't it? But none of us are here for that now, are we? Now that 2022 is coming to a close, it's nice to look back at all that's happened. Elden Ring came out and crushed everything in its wake. Cyberpunk got Edge Runners, which was really good and sparked more interest in the game, and the funny haha spaceman bought the Bird website. But there are a few things that I am looking forward to and many things that I want. So, with all that pushed aside, here is my 2023 wish list. Starting off with a pretty hot one here, we all know it's coming and we've waited this long already, but Breath of the Wild 2 Tears of the Kingdom is just down the horizon. While it was initially planned to come out this year, it was pretty hard to learn that it would be delayed till next year. We've waited this long, and honestly, it's only just getting closer, and I'm sure Nintendo already knows it's going to sell. It's the sequel to one of the most ambitious games, and one that arguably set a massive stepping stone for other games in its wake to take their own leaps into open world. While it's set to release May of next year, I can't help but feel that much more excited about it. That being said, I do have my hopes for it. Based on the trailers, it seems like the sequel is trying to just give us more Breath of the Wild, which is exactly what I feel like people want. I do worry a bit that the game will focus a little bit much on the Sky Islands, which I fear might take away from the openness that Breath of the Wild was so praised for. Of course, the game will not be linear, as the entirety of Hyrule seems to be still fully explorable. With some new enemies being shown off, I can't help but wonder what they've done to the world. They do already have the map made, so I wonder how they're going to evolve it, or how they may let the players evolve it. Honestly, since this is a direct sequel, it would be weird if suddenly the whole world changed so much, so I could see Nintendo letting the players themselves experience the building up of Hyrule. I wonder what will replace the shrines that were littered around the world, or if we'll just get a whole new set of shrines. And will we be getting a new set of mini collectibles like the Korok seeds? Maybe even being able to connect our existing save file from Breath of the Wild to the second game to bring some stuff over. But my big wish is that we'll get more traditional Zelda dungeons. The Divine Beasts were fun and all, but they were incredibly short and there were only 4 of them. Plus, every boss was just a copy-paste of a messed up version of Ganon. So I want to go into it and just have more. And I do think it would be pretty cool if the Divine Beasts themselves had some gameplay importance, since we've already taken them back from Ganon in the first game. It's honestly fun to think about, especially considering how much Breath of the Wild shook up the formula. I can only imagine what they've built on since then. Sticking with Nintendo, Mario Kart. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Pack is supposed to be all done and released next year, and I just want to see more original tracks. So far, it's been mostly tour tracks and remakes, which I don't have a problem with. It's more Mario Kart at the end of the day, and plus, all my favorite retro tracks not already in the base game have been added, including the best iteration of Rainbow Road from Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. But I do want more originals. The Ice Cream Sundae track and the original Christmas track were both really good and fit right in with Mario Kart, and I just want more of that. I also want more tracks that take advantage of the gravity mechanic. For the most part, it's been largely absent in the booster pack aside from a few tracks. Even the retro tracks in the base game made full use of it, and I feel like it's a bit of missed potential not to make use of it here. Though I do feel that that might be because a lot of these, even the remaked ones, are just ripped straight from Tour. This next wish is a bit smaller in scale, but it may surprise you to know that I'm a massive fan of Tekken. And I was very excited to get a teaser trailer for the next entry, Tekken 8. And even better, we got a gameplay trailer shortly after showing off the new engine and graphics, and there's even muscle physics or whatever. Like, you can see them actively flex when they go to throw a punch. It's really cool. I'm really excited for this. As much as I enjoy it, I must admit that I'm not very good at the game. I wonder what the roster is going to look like. I could see this game being the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for Tekken. Like, imagine every character from any past Tekken game along with the stages. I would also like to see a tag team game mode at least. Sticking to the theme of people beating the crap out of each other, I want to hear more on Yakuza 8. After the 6th game, the franchise kinda took a turn and tried something new for the 7th entry, Like a Dragon, starting a new lead character, Ichiban Kasuga, and switching from the beat-em-up brawler Yakuza is known for and turning it into a turn-based RPG. And I have to say, I ate it up. It was an incredible game, and we did get a teaser concerning the 8th game. And it confirmed that the story will continue with Kasuga, and I just want to know more. It's been confirmed that it'll stick with the turn-based combat, and though I still miss the active combat, I do think that it would be cool that along with Yakuza 8, maybe a new Judgment title would be pretty cool to fill in that itch. I don't think I'm alone with this next one, but I want an expansion for Elden Ring. Honestly, the game is already filled to the brim with content and got a pretty sizable content update after the Game Awards, which opened up the Coliseum for PvP. And while I must admit I don't really play the PvP very much. But with how Elden Ring is structured, I think that having massive DLC expansions, paid or not, would work pretty seamlessly with the base game. And it doesn't even need to be whole new regions. Hell, it doesn't even need to add to the open world. I think filling the lands between with even more large caves or more linear dungeons would be pretty nice too. And I mean, if by some chance we did get a whole new region, I don't think anyone would complain. Honestly, I think just everyone would like more Elden Ring. The next wish is a bit of an odd one, but I want to see what the next project from Vilcalio is going to be. For those of you who are unaware, Vilcalio is a Finnish artist who's known for breaking every known rule of the art world to make abominations of art that, despite looking objectively bad, is oddly mesmerizing to look at, and that art direction was the main hook of their game, Cruelty Squad, which I cannot recommend more. Despite being an absolute assault on the senses, it's legitimately one of the most unique and memorable games I've played in recent memory. And I want to see what's next. It was such a surreal experience, and I just want to see more. Just maybe minus the Funko Pop walls this time. Going back to Nintendo, I think it's safe to say that a few of their IPs have just not been treated the best, and I think it's about time that changed. With Metroid Dread, it proved that people still care about a lot of these non-Mario franchises. Plus, just take a look at how many people are looking forward to Metroid Prime 4. We also got a bunch of new Kirby games, and there's another installment in the Pimkin series just over the horizon. So, with all this care going into the smaller IPs, I think that it's time that we got a new Star Fox game. Or, I'm willing to compromise, a new F-Zero. I'm a generous micro YouTuber with no sway over any decisions. I'll let you choose. Next, if any of you guys have been around at the channel for a while, you guys know that I have a slight affinity for Final Fantasy XIV. Well, I must admit that it's kind of turned me into an MMO junkie. But Endwalker, the latest expansion, was released late 2021, so I think it's safe to say that the next big expansion will be announced sometime late this year. Minor spoilers, in Endwalker you kinda save the whole universe, and it's pretty hard to top such a cosmic level threat, so I want the next expansion to be scaled back a ton. There was a bit in 9.1 where you're just basically grave robbing for treasure, and while it's certainly evolved from that, I do think it would be nice for the next expansion to focus on the Warrior of Light themselves. Much less trying to save the world, more just trying to keep yourself busy. Like refusing to retire. I don't know, something about the thought of the savior of everything just becoming bored and traveling to new places just to find trouble and adventure is one that I quite like. And do I think it's gonna be like that? No, not really. Based on where we are, I think that the next expansion is gonna be about the afterlife or something of the sort. At least that's where I see it going based on the latest patch. But I can still wish for it, can't I? Alright, so I do have a question. Where is Persona 6? I must admit, I'm very late to the party, but I finally played Persona 5 via the Steam release, and I feel incredibly cheated for not playing it sooner. And all I can think of is just how much more I want. There was a spin-off sequel in the style of Dynasty Warriors with Persona 5 Strikers, but, I mean, come on. Persona 6. Atlas, don't make me beg, please. And moving from Atlas to Team Raptor, I know that they're working on a project that isn't this, but I really want to see a new Lethal League. Honestly, it's a bit odd to me how this game isn't more popular. It's such a unique spin on fighting, and it's loads of fun. And I think that with Blaze being on all platforms, I think that maybe a new game could push the series into the public eye more. If nothing else, I just want more people to know about it. It's a fantastic game. Also, Monster Hunter World 2. I want Monster Hunter World, but again. I've played many Monster Hunter games, and I know that we have Rise and its DLC expansion Sunbreak, and I did enjoy that quite a bit, but I think that World really captured the right feel for a Monster Hunter game. Plus, with a sequel, one of the main issues with World would no longer be an issue. Since it was the first big leap in graphics for the series, a lot of monsters were cut since new models and such had to be made, as other Monster Hunter games kept simple PS2 era graphics and reused monsters. So if they made another game like World, they could do that with what's already here and have a big head start with the monster count. Alright, so switching from swords and hammers and monsters and stuff down to guns and monsters and stuff, I know it's coming. I am calling it now. id Software is gonna drop a new Doom. I'm gonna be real, I did not enjoy Doom Eternal as much as I did 2016. Not at all saying that it was bad, I just didn't like it so much. So for this one, all I want is the game to fix a few things that I didn't like from Eternal. The big one being the ammo limit. In 2016, you could have up to like 60 shotgun shells at the max ammo upgrade, and while I think that could be worked to be reduced just a bit, I still want to be able to choose a weapon to use primarily. And second is the enemy's weaknesses being telegraphed. Just don't do that. I know that enemies have weaknesses, but just don't make it obvious, because I felt like in Eternal it certainly was. But what I do want to stay is the movement. I really liked the meat hook grapple gun, and I also enjoyed the short platforming sections to even out the gunfights. I also think it would be pretty cool that if you ran out of ammo for a gun, instead of automatically switching, Doomguy just uses it as a blunt melee weapon. It's not at all practical, but I think with glory kills, it would be pretty fun. Now, moving to a game that's really close to release, Hogwarts Legacy. I have never read a Harry Potter book, I have never watched a Harry Potter movie, and I don't really have that much interest in the series. But it's a high fantasy game about wizards. That's my thing. I just want the game to be good. While it looks very promising, it is still a movie adaptation. Or maybe it's not, I don't know if this counts as one. But either way, they do seem to have a bad reputation for being fairly mediocre, so I just hope this game is as good as it looks in the trailers. And also, imagine for a second if this came out as a Wii game and you use the motion controls with the Wiimote to cast spells. Just saying. I also want a God of War Ragnarok port. We got a PC release for the first one, Bring Over Ragnarok. It almost beat Elden Ring at the Game Awards, and I want to play it without having to buy a PlayStation. And moving over to consoles, we already got the NES and SNES remix consoles, you know, just little miniature versions of consoles with games preloaded on it. And I just want that for the Nintendo 64. Because honestly, even though I grew up mostly around the Wii area, I have the most nostalgia for the Nintendo 64. And plus, come on, it's the next real big console in the lineup, and we already got the SNES and the NES. Bring it over. I know it'll kind of conflict with the fact that, you know, Nintendo's online service has, you know, little games for extra bit of money, but come on. Now, moving over to movies. The Super Mario movie. It's coming out in April. I'm still extremely excited, but I really, really want this movie to be good. No matter what, it's gonna crush it in the box office. It's a movie about Mario. But I am just hoping that it's a good movie. For the most part, I thought that the Sonic movie was, I mean, it was fine, but it didn't feel like a Sonic movie. It was just a movie with Sonic in it. But I'm looking at the trailers for the Mario movie, and they look really promising. Like, this looks like a movie that is like a video game movie, and it looks fantastic. And I don't really like Chris Pratt as Mario. A lot of people don't. But I still have really high hopes for this movie, and I just want it to be good. If anything, if any of the things in this video, this one, please be true. Just let the Mario movie be good. Now, moving over to something completely different, Twitter. I really want Twitter to improve. I know that since Elon Musk has taken it over, it hasn't been the best. It hasn't been the best, but I just hope the best for it. I'm not an active Twitter user, and in fact, I don't really use a lot of other social medias. I've just never really been very good at it. But I just wish the best for Twitter. I want it to improve. I want more people to use it. And I think that this could be a learning experience for basically every social media site out there. They could look at Twitter, see what went wrong, when it went very wrong, and what went right. I can't point out anything that went right at the moment, mostly because I'm not super active, but I hope the best for it, and I want it to improve. And now, ending off this video with the last wish, I wish to improve myself. The channel, it's small right now, but I want to change that and make it less small. I want it to be, like, not snack-sized. I want to make better content. I do. And it's a little bit cheesy trying to say this to people that are actively listening to me, but I do. I want to make something of this. So, this is a lot less of a wish and a lot more of a New Year's resolution, but I want, by the end of the year, next year, 2023, to have 1,000 subscribers. I don't necessarily need to be monetized. I'm not exactly super worried about that right now. But I would like to improve the quality of my videos and connect with my audience a lot more, and then just grow. You know, enlarging the channel to reach more people. But with all that, thank you all so much for watching and listening to me ramble about stuff that I want. If you guys like the video, like it, comment down below what your wishes for 2023 is. And with all that out of the way, I will see you all in the next video.